Hello there, YouTube. We are back with some more Matchplay commentary for you guys. I'm joined by the brother bear, the brother from another mother, my partner in crime, TJ.
I have peanut butter jelly in my mouth still. I'm sorry.
You're good. You're good. But we're bringing some matches over from Sully Abode, which is the local card shop that we go to every Thursday for Digi. If you're located in the Chicagoland area, want to check them out. They're in Boilingbrook. They pretty much have every card game out there and a locals for it. So feel free to check them out. I'll drop their TCG player link down in the video description below. Today's matchup features a pretty interesting one, and I think two very fun decks right now in the meta. We've got the two brothers, the two Hoffman brothers, going up against each other. We've got, I believe Will is on the left playing his Agumon or AncientAgumon build, and we've got Mike on the right playing his AncientGabumon build. So a very nice battle of the pro tags here, and very just fun, interesting builds. So hopefully you guys enjoy it as much as we do. If you have any questions for our players, feel free to jump in the comment section down below or hit us up on our Discord, which will be linked down in our video description below within our socials, which has our Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff. So if you've got questions for these guys, you want to see their deck list, just hit them up over there, and they'll be sure to get you the list. But without further ado, let's hop right into the round over here. And even better, they got the matching sleeves too.
Yeah, this
Such
is
a
full,
perfect
like,
setup.
Well, yeah, and even their sleeves for their decks are also like perfect as well. Oh, but speaking of what's perfect, did you hear the most recent missive, my good lord? Hear ye! I, TJ, bald man extraordinaire, hereby declare that on this day, technically this happened like 3 days ago, but on this day, actually it's longer than 3 days ago, but on this day, we have rewards for our members now. So, if you are someone who is subscribed to the channel, if you aren't, fix that. But if you are already, and you would like to become a member, we have plans. The more members we get, the more the plans expand. Right now, what they are is pretty much, we have ideas, you might say, thoughts to basically let you guys decide what deck profiles we do. Once per week, we'll let members select a deck profile for us to do. You guys will have exclusive access to it for the first 2 days before it goes public to the rest of the channel. And yeah, and like I said, you know, we're going to have more stuff cooking as time goes on, but I just wanted to float that a little bit.
Yeah. For sure. Quick summary though. We've had pretty good starting turns by both players. Mike was able to do a pretty decent play there by playing out the BT-6 Matt and the Gabu to kind of choke Will to 1. Will responded by being able to swing with his Agu X, pick up some tamers. The Taikari is I think slept on. He was telling me about this play, and Mike was as well, that we'll kind of go over in a little bit when it comes out. But I think this card is really, really good for this particular iteration of the deck. Mainly because you do run a lot of ties in it, and it can do a lot of nasty things. But we kind of see the premise here for these two decks, right? In the sense that you're really just utilizing your rookies, your Gabus and your Agus, doing some early chip damage, and hopefully getting into your big body down the line. Both respective BT-6 Tamers allow you to do exactly what Mike is doing. That was like perfect timing, holy cow. But you can warp straight into the level 7 here, and Gabumon, for those of you who don't remember, will be able to swing every time it swings. So it's not a once per turn. You can bottom deck a level 5 or lower, and you can restand if you have a blue tamer. The BT-6 Gabu that Mike has underneath lets it restand an additional time for a total of 3 checks, which is absolutely wild. And then the analog youth is why this loop deck is so crazy, is that once your end of turn effect procs to pop your warp evo, you can just suspend analog to gain a memory hatch, and you can set up another rookie, which, if you can imagine, with your Louis, your Mats, your ties, etc., like, you're just gaining so much memory and draw power. It's insane.
Yeah, and then all that too. I mean, Louis is such a cracked card right now for what it lets you do.
Oh boy, there it is.
So we see Agu go into the promo Aguni, which then lets him go ahead and swing and then Evo for reduced cost into the Ancient Gray.
Mm-hmm.
And then he can go ahead and...
You can go ahead and on delete, yep, suspend the analogs, but then here too, he can play out a tamer from the ancient deletion, which he chooses to play an analog for.
Jesus.
Gains some memory, goes into another Agu in the back, goes into Agu X.
So crazy, man.
Yeah.
It's so crazy. Yeah, the
jeez, that promo Goonie is also just so good.
Yeah, it's so interesting just like seeing these decks just like go insane.
And
like,
so for those of you who don't know, before I don't want to cut you off, but I think this is a key play here with the Tai and Kari. If you correct me if I'm wrong, but I think end of turn.
It's end of turn. You can return to the bottom of the deck,
play out a Tai,
one,
which is crazy.
Yeah, you play out one tamer card with Tai or Kari Kamiya and their name from your hand without paying the cost. So it's very like thematic in the sense of like, all right, all turns, because it has all turns effect, right? When your breeding area is hatched in, by suspending this tamer, gain 1 memory. So, you know, which honestly with analog youths is kind of scary because you can actually steal turn with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you can do that, and then you can keep yourself from decking out, which is useful. But it's also just thematic of like, you know, okay, they go back to the bottom of the deck, and you like they grow up, they turn into like one of their older tamer cards.
But yeah, go ahead. Sorry to cut you off. I just wanted to point that out.
I don't remember what I was gonna say. That's fine. That's all I had.
Before
I don't think
people start yelling at me for cutting you off and blah blah blah.
It don't matter. I knew what you were gonna say. That's what I was gonna start saying it anyways, but I was like, yeah, it's fine.
But yeah, Mike ended up taking game 1 with a kind of a cheeky, just ancient Guru play. You know, being able to warp Evo into it using the promo Lobo, bouncing last card of security, and swinging for game, which is crazy.
Yeah, one thing I always have to remember is that the promo Goonie and the promo Lobo actually do like interact very differently.
Yeah.
Because the Goonie makes you have to swing and then you go for a reduced cost of 2, but then like Lobo, it's on Evo and you go for a reduced cost of 1, which is crazy. It's crazy that Lobo is just better. You don't have to worry about aces and you can just swing and do it.
Jeez, and then the Greymon allowing you to hatch on deletion. I mean, like, this is just so much aggression. It's crazy.
Yeah, these decks are very fast. This is
what, turn 2?
I played Coop round 3, and Coop had me done in like less than 10 minutes, I'm pretty sure. Like, even though I bricked at like game 1 and then game 2, he drew the nuts. Like, it was still just fast. It was insanely fast.
And then I think something to point out too is that, you know, this does stray a little bit from the traditional sort of like hybrid, particularly for the blue side of things, right? Where you're kind of focusing on your hybrid plays and all that. Here, you're really just focusing on Gabus and like warping into your top ends for like damage. You like never really care about your top end staying, whether it's through the promo Evo with your respective level 4s or like just going into the level 6, either another method. Like, you just want them to die to play out your tamers and keep recurring bodies and looping these like small end Agus and Gabus to go for your like aggression there.
So he does Grab Crush here.
Yeah.
Evo's for 2. Swings. Evo's for another 2 into Ancient. Ancient will pop something with DP less than or equal to.
Just pop the...
pop Gabu X. Then do the Agu reveal. Grabs the Taikari. Does 2 checks. Draws 1 for the Koro. Gets a mat out. And then it dies. And he gets 2 memory with Gravity Rush. Okay, so that's all set up. I will mention that they were worried that there's a misplay at some point where they forgot to calculate Grav Crush, but I think this is the first time we've seen Grav Crush come up, right? I don't think we've seen it.
Correct, yeah.
Come from anywhere else. It didn't come out of security, did it?
No.
Okay.
But I mean, that's good aggression there. I mean, he's got 4 checks in, 2 mics, 1. Ancient Gray utilized, I think, with the promo Lobo is not bad at all. You know, I mean, it still is a big 2-check body that lets you spit out tamers and recur stuff. So, I mean, strategy is real good.
I think it works better than old Ancient Gray in specifically only in like the sense that like So many tamers, especially moving forward too. So many tamers give a memory if your opponent has a Digimon on board, right? New Ancient Grade doesn't spit out a Digi like the old one does. It spits out a Tamer. It grabs back a hybrid and a Tamer, and then spits out a Tamer. So you don't have to, you can kind of get around that, which can be helpful for keeping like advantage in your way if you're trying to choke people.
All right, so Mike goes into a promo Lobo, which would in theory allow him to go into an Ancient Guru for 1. Looks like he's debating if he wants to. I think if you have it, you just go ahead and do it.
You might as well. I mean, Evo for 1.
And you've got the right.
There, so
yeah,
he'll be able
exactly.
To draw a card
yeah. Ooh.
Nope. Oh, he doesn't have it, maybe. So I guess he has Ice Walls.
Hammers. I think he's maybe just trying to choke him to as least amount of memory as possible. Ooh. Oh.
Where?
Interesting.
Sagittarius mode? Yeah, Sagittarius mode.
Interesting.
It's been a minute since I've seen that card. So it does put himself
in a pretty decent
in a good spot to go. Yeah, he goes up to an Ancient next turn. Oh, all the memory gain. Then loses 2 at Emperor, so goes back to 1.
Great
Agu can start her main.
Yeah, then pops to Sagittarius. That's pretty good because he can go into it. End of turn, bottom deck the tie card to play out a BT6 tie.
That Agu
should have made it free, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say, right?
That might have been a misplay there.
Unless you wanted to pay the cost for
maybe.
the Evo?
I mean, we were able to efficiently choke him,
but he's kept turn anyways, so
yeah.
I feel like.
I mean, here you just play out the Louis, gain the memory, and then swing again. So again, just to kind of reiterate that point, right? Like a lot of we saw Mike do a Gabumon play game 1, but outside of that big play, like you're really just going low to the ground with your rookies, and then the occasional warp Evo to your top end, do 2 checks, and then the rest of your checks come from your little rookies coming out of the back. And I think both times, game 1 and game 2 were decided by who could just spit out Louis more.
Yeah, Louis. I honestly, man, because we're recording this Thursday night after locals, right? So the it's banlist eve. All right, it's like Christmas.
Banlist probably comes out in 4 hours. So
I really would not be surprised if Louis is on there. The more I sort of see this, and from what I felt tonight with what Louis can do, especially in conjunction with the BT6 tamers, it's gonna be.
Yeah.
There's no way he stays
these 4. Oh my god. You can get as mirrored as you want with this one. Both secret rookies.
Their SR rookies.
Yeah.
BT6 hammers.
All right.
Oh,
so
now it's 2 analog. Now it's just a mirror.
These guys.
It is just thematic to watch. It's very cool.
Yeah, it is very, very cool. And both of these guys are really good players in their own right too.
Draw one. Okay, so this is a grab crush there.
Analog, pick up, I would assume here another, pick up the Gabu X, trash the rest.
Push up the Agu, gain a memory off of the tie.
Greymon, nice.
Evo's into that Greymon for free, okay.
He gains a memory since he's got a tie. It's a Lobo,
plus
so
3k, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he's big guy, he's 10k.
Skull Greymon. So this is an interesting card. I believe this is BT-14. You can pitch a card to delete one of your opponent's lowest level.
Your lowest and one of your opponent's lowest. And then on deletion, you can play an Agu.
That has Rush.
As long as you have a tie on board.
Right.
So the Agu does gain Rush for the turn. He can swing with the Agu X.
And here we see another analog.
Yeah, just a 1 choke. There's no egging back for Mike, so Mike is kind of in a tough spot right now.
Yeah. Going to Gabu from EX1. Yeah, I do think it's interesting to see what's going to happen in the coming hours, just because, I mean, the Ukos definitely provide gas to a lot of decks. I mean, Uko is not even worth talking about at this point with how crazy it can be. But I think Louis for sure too is just one of those cards that, I mean, a lot of these guys aren't even really utilizing Uko.
Yeah.
And you're seeing Louis do so much damage, with what they're doing here. And here we see Will get a little wild with it. We see the sort of Greymon loop going into an Agu X, up into a Goonie, then into an Ancient Gray, which is a ridiculously high number.
2 checks. And then end of turn, it deletes.
Plays out a Tamer and picks up a piece. Which most of the time, these decks want to just recycle your promo hybrid as best you can, just so that you can keep doing that like play with your ancient pieces.
Goonie and Louie. Plays out the Taikari.
And plays out another one mainly because of the
Greymon. Yeah, can hatch, can spin those, gain 2 memory. And you can no memory. Okay, Agu.
Hit us with a Louie.
He has a Louie in hand.
There you go.
Yeah, there's a Louie. Push up, gain 2.
Swing.
Does die.
Jesus Christ, Will. God.
Gravity
Crush, my God.
Yeah. That's. Holy moly.
Wow.
Okay.
That was crazy. That was a hell of a turn.
That was really crazy. These are really cool decks. They are so fast, dude. That was 3 games.
This is what we got to deal with these 2 at our locals. You see what we got to go through?
We suffer.
No, but I mean these were really fun. You know, like you said, these decks, these builds are definitely interesting ones, and they do a lot of crazy things. And well played to both of these guys. I mean, I think they were both cooking tonight. Will ended up doing pretty well. He won it all, so congrats to Will for winning this week's locals. And I think again, I mean, it's going to be interesting how they handle this, because I think a lot of discussion was had in the community, at least on Reddit and like other discords. Like, if you do ban the Ukos, these are the decks that are going to kind of emerge, at least from like the ancient packages, right? Is at least what I feel like, is that if you take away Ukos but Louis still lives, like these decks really go, these decks go crazy.
Dude, imagine you wake up tomorrow and the BT6 tamers are hit. Imagine they shoot the tie on the mat from BT6.
At least they'll make them cheaper. At least I can finally get my event pack mat.
I guess so.
Yeah, but hopefully you guys enjoy this. Let us know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Also, let us know what you guys think of these decks after the ban list comes out. We honestly don't know what's going to happen. It's going to be interesting to see like how things will shift once this comes out. So let us know what you guys think, whether it's in the comments, in our Discord, all that good stuff. We're always down for a good discussion. Thank you all for tuning in. We do appreciate all your support. And lastly, if you do enjoy it, you want to support us, please feel free to hit that like and subscribe button. We would greatly appreciate it. And hit that bell notification button if you want to be notified about when these videos go live. But hopefully we have done enough to catch you on that flippy flip. Bye-bye.
Bye.